Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is what if Asta had serpent magic. So yeah, you're wondering how many what ifs are you doing of Asta? Uh, well, this is going to be the last one. If I can think of anything more, I'll probably do more. But so I already have just a couple. Okay, don't worry about it. Wait. I have 5.5 because the fact that what if Asta was Virgil, I'm actually going to redo it instead of being Virgil, like Virgil himself. He's gonna be like the reincarnation. Okay, I don't want to redo it. Okay, I'm gonna redo it. Okay, not the point. Let me go into this what if and let me shut the fuck up. But let's go into the what if. So Asta, he's right now kind of dealing with the kind of guy with chains. Of course, Asta still didn't get a grimoire. He doesn't seem to have magic. Everyone thought. That's where, Asta is trying to fight against him. Of course, Asta still kind of like, he can't get out of it. He doesn't even summon out the anti-book. He doesn't like summon it out. He kind of gives up. This is where, Sister Lily actually comes out of nowhere and does the water, heavenly water punch to kind of punch this guy out. She managed to defeat him, and of course, they managed to get their grimoire back. Mostly, the two nobles and Yuno, Umi's going to be an OC character. She gets her 4-leaf grimoire also, and also, two other people, one with black hair and one of her eyes is kind of red, and of course, the other one is kind of like, mostly always closed. Of course, this is where, her name is Kurumi, and she has a kind of 4-leaf grimoire also, but the grimoire itself is kind of black and like golden a little bit. Like the leaves are, from the grimoire has the golden kind of leaves. This is where the other person is named Junko, and of course, this is where, she has a kind of like a 4-leaf grimoire also. This is where, Yuno says, that's interesting, Asta. You didn't manage to get the grimoire. Sorry about that. This is where Sister Lily was healing Asta. And this is where, Asta says, I guess so. I can't really become the pirate. Well, not pirate. The Wizard King. So I'm hoping you become the Wizard King. This is where, we go into 3 months later. Of course, where and the others are going towards the wizard kind of, mostly the magic exam and all that, magic night exam. This is where, they are all going, and this is where, Sister Lily is saying bye, I love you, bye bye. This is where Asta, who is kind of somewhere in a cave. This is where Nashu, who's the kid with kind of like orangey hair and purple eyes, says, so you're not going with him? Even though your magic is powerful? This is where Asta, who is kind of looking away from Nashu and looking ahead of himself, a book appears, flipping a page. It seems to be floating. And of course, instead of having the symbol of 4 leaves, or any leaves at all, it shows to have a symbol of some kind of serpent. This is where Asta says, no, they'll be good enough. They're strong. They will be powerful enough to do anything. That's where we go into a time skip of when Yuno kind of went to go save Sister Lily. This is where, he says, damn it, I haven't seen Asta in a while. This is where, did he just give up on life? No, that's not true. This is where he didn't even hear anything from Sister Lily, or even the others kind of talking about Asta or what he's been doing. This is where, Yuno still joins the Golden Dawn, but this is where when he's getting closer to fight against, he fought against 2 of the bandits. One was a water user and the other guy was an earth user. This is where he hears a large rumble. This is where Yuno kind of stables on the ground because he was wondering what the hell that was. This is where, something launches, something so fast straight towards Yuno. Seems to be an accident on purpose. Yuno doesn't know, but he uses his wind magic to catch someone. He catch, a bandit. This bandit was the crystal guy user. The guy seems to be crushed, like his bones seem to be crushed. Yuno was worried, thinking that Sister Lily was getting attacked by something. This is where, when Yuno managed to get closer, this is where he sees 2 of the other bandits kind of fighting against a giant red serpent. This red serpent has to only have 1 eye, because his other eye is kind of milky white. This is why, well, he's roaring. His name is what's it called? Not Gar. His name seems to be Garaga, and he's screaming, saying, "Die!" He smashes his tail into the guy who uses fire magic, and of course, his bones just breaks in his like body. This is where, well, Sister Lily seems to be trying to calm down the snake, Garaga. This is where she's saying, "Please, Garaga, please calm down." This is where Yuno tries to go save, well, Sister Lily, but instead the serpent kind of like smashes his tail right in front of Yuno. Yuno was about to get hit by this thing, and of course, this is where Sister Lily says, "Please." This is where Garaga stops. This is where Garaga is still trying to look for the other one. That last sneaky bastard tries to get away. Of course, this is where he did manage to get kind of stabbed and wounded by the other one. And of course, this is where, well, the last one kind of just walked away. Of course, being on top of the demon's skull. This is where, well, he was saying, "I managed to escape." This is where the other bandit who was right now knocked out. This is Julius. Julius did not see a serpent about to, like, fucking kill him. He wasn't expecting this village to have a serpent. But this is where, well, someone appears behind him. Someone in a black cloak. A kind of black, mostly looks to be brown. This is where, well, this person says, "You dare hurt him." This is where, well, Julius, who was confused, this is where he's still not out of his, like, well, kind of, like, disguise and all that. So, of course, this is where, well, this person seems to not care. This is where, well, Julius says, and he has to act still, so of course he says, "Oh, you mean that giant red snake? Whatever." He was weak. And guess what? I don't care. This is where Asta appears in blinding speed, surprising Julius. This is where, well, this person sends such a powerful punch into Julius' disguised form in the stomach, breaking a couple ribs. But then, of course, this is where, well, he got his head grabbed by serpents from this person's coat. This is where multiple snakes managed to grab Julius. And of course, this person starts swinging Julius around, throwing him so far, saying, "Stay the fuck out." This is where Asta sees the other bandit, the actual real bandit. This is where the fake bandit was disguised as Julius, and of course he appears back to normal, but of course he's crashed into the kingdom. This is where, well, he was surprised, never actually expecting someone this powerful to be there. Of course, he managed to sense his mana, but it was so little. But he was confused how he can summon any of that. And so where, well, this person went to go back to hideout, but not really go back. He went to go see Garga. This is where Garga was like, "Are you okay, Sister Lily?" This is where, well, Sister Lily says, thank you for saving me." This is where Garga says, "Yes. Of course, the master would not like to see you get hurt." This is where, well, Sister says, "It's fine. I'm not that hurt." This is where, tries to get close to Sister. And of course, sees the snake not actually attacking him. This is where the snake seems to be wounded in one part. This is where Sister says, "You're wounded." This is where Gargar says, "It's just a scratch, a battle scratch. Nothing too serious." This is where, well, the other, well, Golden Dawn appear, and this is where Clark sees it. This is where Clark sends a metal spike straight towards it. This is where Yuno says, "Stop!" Why not, Sister Lily mostly tried to stop him. This is where before the metal, like, spike or whatever it was, tries to pierce the snake, this is where it gets snapped. It just gets cut in an instant. This is where Gargar kind of growls at the other Golden Dawn, mostly Clark's. This is where Clark's wearing the eyes. He didn't see who attacked it. He thinks the snake was the one to be able to kind of just smash through it, but cut cleanly. This is where, well, something appears. A kind of greenish serpent appears. It looks to be a green snake, a smaller one than the actual giant red one. This green one hisses at Gargar. Gargar says, "I know. I'm fine. I don't need his help. I'm fine. I will protect him and protect Sister Lily." This is where, well, the person appears right on top of Gargar and says, "You need my help." This is where Asta, well, not Asta, I mean, this person jumps down and of course starts healing this, well, giant red snake. This is where, well, the Sister Lily says, "You're here. I thought you would be asleep." This is where the mask, well, kind of the hooded person looks at Sister Lily and says, I'll be fine. I'm always fine. I said I would protect this village, and I always make my promise come true. This is where, well, his voice seems to be deep, but of course unrecognizable for Yuno to even figure out who this person is. This is where the red snake slithers off after kind of being healed by, well, his master. And of course the green snake kind of jumps on, what's it called, this hooded figure. And of course this is where, well, okay, I had to charge my phone, but not the point. What's it called, this hooded figure kind of glares at, well, what's it called, Clarkson. Clarkson says, who are you? This is where the green snake kind of slithers around this person's hood. And of course, this is where, well, this person disappears in an instant. This is where Yuno couldn't figure out. Even tried to use some wind magic to capture this person. But of course, this person's speed was too fast and managed to just dodge it. This is where, well, Yuno says, who was that, sister? Sister says, let's talk later, okay? This is where, well, Yuno kind of talks to Sister, but Sister seems to be vague, very vague, in the answer. This is where, well, she says that it's just a mysterious person just coming through and protecting the village for just some couple of reasons if his, well, red snake can just live in the mountains. This is where, well, Yuno says, what about Asta? This is where Sister is trying to, well, ignore that question. This is where Nashu decides to say he's dead. This is where Nashu didn't show no mercy in that word. This is where, well, Yuno looks at Nashu with widened eyes. This is where, well, he says no, he can't be. How? This is where, well, Nashu says he killed himself. Done. This is where, didn't expect Asta to do something like that. This is where, well, they go back towards the, well, kingdom, and of course he seems to be a little bit more depressed. But of course this is where Yuno is starting to kind of shush people away from him more often than normal. He seems to really be sad in the fact that Asta, his best friend, his brother, killed himself. This is where he can't believe it. But this is where we go into a time skip of, well, someone going into a cave. A man to look very buff and have, well, kind of a cloak with the black wool. And of course having a sword, a katana to look mostly. And of course having a purple grimoire kind of floating around him. This is where, well, his name is Yami. This is where Yami enters this cave. This is where he did hear about the red snake. And he actually did cut the red snake multiple times. This is where the red snake kind of like screams in pain. And it's right now not dead, but kind of slither away. This is where, well, Yami is walking through this cave. And this is where, when he enters this cave, he sees a person with a brown cloak. He heard from Julius that this person, it seems to be very dangerous and should be, well, captured or just brought alive to see what he wants and why he's in that village. So where, well, mostly Yami says, hey you, Asta, or not Asta, mostly this person turns around, showing his eye, his red slick eye, and this is where he sends bloodlust. This is where behind, this hooded figure was, well, a giant serpent with a eye, just a death glare at, well, what's it called? Yami. This is where a presence of magic just exploded from this person. This is where, well, Yami saying, what the? Who are you? He didn't actually expect this person to be so powerful in magic. But of course, this is where, well, Yami decides to just doesn't care. This is where Yami says, oh, you must be a very powerful opponent. I guess I'll be fighting you. This is where he explodes in dark magic. And this is where this person says, you heard him, didn't you? This is where Yami says, her who? That red snake? Yeah, he got in my way. This is where this person gets angry, rushes at Yami. That's where Yami blocks a swing attack from a sword with his own sword, clashing. This sword seems to have a handle of gold and a little bit, and the blade to be kind of white. This is where, well, Yami is right now just clashing with this person, dodging an axe kick, a brutal axe kick, because when he dodges it, the ground below Yami, when he dodges it, was explosive. This is where he's dodging attacks, dodging even serpents trying to bite onto him. He cuts through them. This is where, well, he's also dodging a fire attack. This is where the person says, flames of serpents. This is where, well, he's dodging that, and of course, this is where he's saying, damn, this person's able to defeat me. That grimoire. He looks at the grimoire, seems to have 0 clovers, but seems to have a symbol that's what kind of shows to kind of be like a serpent or something. 2 serpents, one being different color, one being white and one being black, seems to be attacking each other. This is where, well, Yami is saying, damn it, who is this guy anyway? This is where, well, after a couple of minutes happening between the battle, clashing, and even attacking, punching, kicking, this is where, well, Yami could not really get hit by any of the brutal attacks. He was getting mostly assaulted by the attacks. This person seems to be fighting like a snake half the time. This is where, well, he could be slithering on the ground and right now trying to pierce Yami in the eyes. This is where he managed to dodge some of the attacks, but every time he gets nicked from the sword and feels to have that poison in him. This is where he managed to use his darkness to push some of the poison out of his body. But of course, he is getting really defeated by this thing. He doesn't know what this is. Could it be a human? Could it be a snake? Could it be a mixture of a human and snake? The fuck is happening? But of course, it did went on for 10 minutes while Yami was actually feeling the exhaustion of the mana, the like mana loss. He sees this person just seems to just not be exhausted by all that. Oh, this is where Yami says, let me guess, you seem to not use that much mana. This is where the person says, you might be hated by mana and have to regen very slow for the mana to come back. But I am somewhat loved by nature and the mana. And you, well, take forever to regen it, while I instantly regen it back. That's where, well, Yami says, that's a lot of bullshit. I really hate it. So, you're gonna tell me a story about your sad-ass backstory? That's where the person just shakes his head and says, no. I just don't like any foreigners. Well, not foreigners. Anyone from any damn village or kingdom or noble pricks coming to this village and trying to disturb the peace. I am here. I am its guardian, and I will protect everyone in this village. Whoever it is. Is it where, well, Yami says, huh, very noble of you, but I'm not a noble. This is where Yami has to block a sword attack. The sword seems to be cracking through his own sword. He says, damn it, you're gonna be breaking my sword, you fucking bastard. This is where Yami just gets pushed a little bit. And of course, well, he does jump a little bit also. But of course, he is seeing the person. This person seems to really hate nobles. All of them, entirely. This is where, well, he says, so, what is your name anyway? This person just stays quiet. This is where, well, Yami says, okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Yami. I forgot his last name. I think it was, I forgot Yami's last name. Also, I keep saying Yamato on accident, but yeah. This is where, well, he says, the name's Yami. What is your name? This is where, well, this person seems to be very quiet. This is where, well, Yami says, okay, you see here, the reason I'm here is not because I just wanted to attack and kill you. Was because I wanted to see if you would join the Magic Knights. You can join any type of Magic Knights. Any type of them. That's what this person says. Magic Knights? I refuse. That's where Yami says, okay. This is where then this person says, but you interest me a lot. And I would really not like to see you die. So, are you a Magic Knight captain? This is where Yami says, yep. I am. How did you know? He says. That's where, well, this person says, then I would join your Magic Knight group. That's where, well, but in one condition, I do not need to meet with the others. You will only call me in serious situations. You can message me and send a bird through here with teleportation magic. I will grab the notes and read it as fast as I can and get there. I do not need any transfer magic from anyone else. I can get there on my own. That's where Yami says, sure, I can conclude with those. Well, agreement. But since you are joining my group, there's one person that wants to see you, and he's not much a part of from the Magic Knights group. He's mostly the king, the one that you attacked, and brutal assaultment. I do not remember attacking the Magic King or whatever, the Wizard King. The only thing I remember attacking and sending away was some bandit, until I found out the real bandit was someone still alive. That's why I killed him anyway. That's where, well, Yami says, right, I forgot he was disguised, but he wants to see you. He kind of saw how powerful you are. That's why he kind of asked me to kind of see your skills and how powerful you are actually really. So, what did you say? That's to where the person says, fine, I will see him. And since you have told me your name, you will be the only person who else know my name from not this village. That's where, Yami says, okay. This person takes off the hood and has kind of longish grayish hair. This is where, his eye seems to be slicked a little bit like green. One being red slick and the other one being slicked like, green like a snake. But basically both of his eyes are kind of slick like a snake. But different color. One being red, one being green. This is where this person says, my name is Asta. Anti-serpent. This is where, Yami says, I guess so. I guess you will be the new Black Bull's Magic Knight now. Then let's go. This is where the person puts on his hood. Of course, he did kind of have scales a little bit, like showing around his face, so that's why, and his skin being kind of palish white. This is where Asta seems to, enjoy Yami's presence a little bit. Before going to the magic, not magic, basically the kingdom of, where the Wizard King is at. Before going there, Asta went to check on Garje, or not Garje, mostly, what's it called? To mostly check on Goraga. This is where he heals Goraga, and of course, this is where Asta says, then let's go. This is where, Yami says, okay, then let's go. So, of course, to get to the kingdom after kind of walking there, because, Yami realized that he didn't get Finro. Fuck. But yeah, you should have told Finro to be with him, but then again, Julius did ask him specifically to be the one to go see Asta, but yeah. Of course, they get there, and of course, where, Asta's magic can barely be detected by anyone. This is where Yami even gets kind of nervous, the fact that he, when he was fighting against Asta in the beginning, he kind of noticed that Asta's magic was so fucking dense. It was so powerful and so potent at the same time that it was kind of dangerous. But right now, Asta walking behind him, his magic, it seems to just vanish out of thin air. Asta still has magic, but it seems like he's magicless. But he does have magic. It's just very, very hidden for Yami. This is where, Yami says, okay, we're here. This is where they go in and talk to the Mushroom Head and also, Wizard King named Julius. This is where, Julius says, Yami, so have you seen the person? Did he agree to be a Magic Knight? What type of Magic Knight did he agree to be in? This is where, Yami says, yeah, he's behind me. This is where, both the blue-haired dude and also Julius says, are you sure? I don't sense any magic from him. The problem is, he can be very dangerous right now. This is where the blue-haired dude says, hey, take off your hood. This is where this person doesn't take off the hood, and this is where he was about to use his own magic to kind of show whoever this person was, dishonor the fact that he dishonored the Wizard King, until, this person sends such a powerful magic wave towards both Julius and, the blue hair. Right now, this is what they see in the behind Asta, a serpent. A very powerful serpent with his eyes just glaring at them. This is where, mostly the blue hair dude falls down in fear, just utter fear. This is where, well, Julius has never felt such a very powerful magic, and able to summon out something behind someone is very dangerous. This is where Asta says, I do not need to show you my face. I do not need you to know who I am. All you need to know is I am part of the Black Bulls. And also, I do not follow the wish of helping nobles. I do not care about helping anyone. The only way I only joined was to help my family. You help the people of my village. I do not care about your noble status. If you are some noble, I will not hesitate to murder you and rip you apart. So, well, Asta's voice seems to be so dead on. To just show not a care of the world to actually care about any nobles. This is where Julius nodded. This is where he says, I see. So, you do not wish to protect any nobles? Yes. You wish to protect only commoners? Yes. And you wish to be in the shadows? I will only come for the sake of Yami. If Yami ever suggests me to come with him to fight someone stronger than Yami, I will fight only in Yami's command. I will not be under your rule, Wizard King. I do not care about your orders or nothing. Even if you suggest my name, I will never come to help you. This is where the blue hair realized that his magic power, well, can't even be activated. It seems to be being erased by the fact of Asta's own magical power just erasing in an instant. Through Julius, he tries to get up, but of course it seems gravity smashing upon him. This is where his interest in the fact that he found someone so interesting, but at the same time not giving a fuck about anyone. Who he doesn't give a fuck about anyone. He only cares about the commoners and seems to only care about commoners. That's where Julius smiles and says, oh, that is odd. I see. So you only care about Yami's presence and only ask. Well, the only time you will only listen to orders will be Yami. Okay. I can agree with that. This is where the blue hair says, but sir, this is where Julius says, calm down. I only agree with that. I'm just glad that you're not someone just bloodthirsty and killing anyone without no mercy. It seems that you are only there to protect. I understand. Then you can go. That's where Asta says, the name is Serpent. King of Serpents, mostly. That's where Asta starts walking away. This is where Yami says, okay, well, that was interesting. But that kid is very fun. His power is so very powerful. He was able to defeat me and almost keep me in a standstill. Well, not in a standstill. He could have easily defeated me and killing me. But instead, he didn't kill me at all. He's a great swordsmanship, I shall mention. He's powerful in his magic and very powerful in fighting up-range close. He doesn't care about getting in front of you and doesn't give a shit about anyone. So, of course, this is where, well, Yami says, but he'll be interesting in battle. So, yeah, don't worry about it. This is where we go into a time skip of Yami fighting against, Leech or whatever his guy's name is. The guy with the light grimoire and all that. And, of course, the guy who's able to use teleportation magic. But, yeah, of course, this is where the Son of the Midnight Eye kind of appears. This is where, the three more powerful than the light user. This is where the Beast Dude, the girl with pink hair, and of course the guy who's disloyal, whatever his title is. But yeah, that's where they're smiling and fighting against, some of the captains. Some of the captains. Yami is right now on the ground, and this is where behind him he's trying to protect his kind of, try to protect against these Midnights when he was fighting against him by himself. He tried to protect Finro, Gon, someone named Junko and someone named someone named Karumi. This is where, they were all kind of like seeing the Magic Knights fight against, mostly the Magic Knight captains fight against these three. This is where, Yami says, so, Finro, did you send a message towards someone that I asked you to? Finro says, yeah, I did. I really thought he would arrive, but then again, he doesn't have magic transfer. That's where Finro says, But why did you tell me to send it so far over to that village? And why did you tell me to mark it there? Oh, don't worry about it. You will now know one of the newest members of the Black Bull. It's where something appears right in front of, well, before the Magic Knights can, Magic Knight captains can even fight against the Midnight Eye. They were all confused with a portal appearing. This portal is different from the black one or even the light one. It seems to kind of be like a portal of like serpents or something. Something comes out. A serpent appears, hissing at, well, the Midnight Eye. It's where something blasts through that portal, rushing towards the guy with the copy magic, getting stabbed with a sword. That's where he goes. He falls backwards, just winding his eyes. This is where the big beast and even the girl kind of wind their eyes. They did not expect that speed. This is where someone appears right in front of the beast dude and sending an uppercut, missing him. But this is where the magical pressure around, well, before you, well, kind of missing someone. This is where the other magical pressure decides to smash upon this person, like if it was like Sage Mode or something. This is where he gets launched up in the sky, just uppercut his shit. This is where Lichu, who was right now watching this and trying to be healed by fire magic, winds his eyes. He sees his mid-eye, just, what's it called, members, whatever, the midnight members just get wiped out. This is where, well, the fire girl tries to send her salamander to try to take out this person, but she doesn't know where it is. This is where this person launches down from the sky, sending a powerful axe kick, smashing her to the ground like it was nothing. This is where she goes. This is where Lichu, who is right now just watching this, winds his eyes. Who is this person? This person grabs her from the neck, and this is where, well, this person seems to not care. He has a hooded figure. Well, mostly he's a hooded figure. No one can actually know who this is. This is where Yami says, he's finally here. This is where he has a hood, a brown, well, what's it called, brown hood. But of course he has the, what's it called, the robe of a black bull. It's kind of on him, or mostly on top of his hood, but yeah. Well, not hood, like on top of his head, no. Mostly on his shoulder, but he has the hood still on. But yeah, of course, this person just grabbed the blade out of the copy guy magic, and this guy did try to copy this person's magic, but couldn't. This is where, well, he got a very ferocious kick to the head, sending his ass straight to a wall, to the, like, earth wall. He coughed up blood. This is where he is feeling extremely weak. Whatever that sword had, it has some kind of poison into it. This is where, well, this person says, Yami, are you okay? He disappears from everyone's view and appears right next to Yami. This is where Yami says, you don't need to be worried about me, kid. I'm just fine. I'm very fine anyway. Glad that you can make it. Didn't expect you to, I thought you were going to ignore my message. I thought you had something more important. But at least I know that you're actually true for your word and will only listen to me. This is where the others were so confused. This speed, this power. Who is this person? This is where the Midnight Eye are trying to get back up. This is where they wind their eyes. Who is this person? Why is he in the black booth? And how damn powerful is he? This is where, well, Yami says, well, good to know that you're here. Now, do you mind capturing them and actually stopping them from escaping? This person nods his head once and disappears in a blink of an eye. This is where Asta appears right in top of, well, the, what's it called, beast dude, grabbing his head and smashing it to the ground like if it was nothing. This is where, well, Lichu is right now trying to be healed fast enough. This is where his flames just been disappeared in an instant. This is where the person appears with a blue snake right now sending something from his breath and canceling out the fire magic, the fire recovery magic. This is where he winds his eyes. Whoever this person is seems to be using some kind of serpent or whatever. This is where his grimoire starts flying around him. Not the light magic dude, but mostly this person. Two grimoires appear. One being red with 5 leaves and the other one being, well, some kind of grimoire with serpents on it. This is where Lichu or whatever his goddamn name is, I forgot, wait. His name is Leech, and of course this is where he didn't expect this, but of course this is where he tries to use his, well, light magic against this person because he has the grimoire of the 5-leaf. He says, how do you have, this where before he even says anything, a powerful knee was sent into his ribs, sending him into the wall, smashing them. This is where all of the midnight didn't expect this person to be able to just be hurting them this badly. Whoever this person is, it's not normal. This is where the beast rushes at this person named Asta. They don't know this is Asta, but this is where Asta dodges, ducks underneath this person. And this is where he says, serpent summoning, serpent of the, well, abyss. This is where multiple dark serpents appear, like right now biting into this beast dude. This is where, well, he's getting like, ah! He tries to punch at Asta, but of course, his fist just right now in midair, right in front of Asta. All this poison, this like paralyzed poison is right now into his veins. He can't move. This is where Asta appears. Asta pulls out the Kusanagi blade, because this is what the sword is called. Kusanagi says Kusanagi. It right now turns into a bluish glow and cuts off this person's arm. This is where this guy screams in pain. He trying to move, but of course it seems that it's just futile. Well, futile against Asta's power. Asta seems to just be playing with him half the time. Asta then says serpent catcher. That's where multiple serpents appear from his hand, grabbing onto the person and tying in, well, kind of having a tight hold on him. That's where these serpents are made out of being like red a little bit. They have like this red particle on them. Right now weakening this person even with his magic being erased. This is where he said, what are they? Anti-serpents. They are a very powerful type of serpent to erase your magic. You will no longer be able to use magic for the temporary moment. But anti-serpents. These anti-serpents bite onto him first. This is where Asta now says, you will now have about 48 hours with no mana, no magic. Your magic is now disappear for 48 hours. Goodbye and fuck off. This is where, well, Asta appears onto the pink-haired girl, smashing her head back to the ground, not giving a shit. This is where the guy is trying to get up the copy magic dude, but of course, any copy magic he's trying to heal himself, it seems to be some kind of weird poison from the sword. He did get stabbed first, and of course, from that sword, it has this kind of weird effect that any magic you try to heal yourself from the sword effect doesn't work at all. This is where, well, he's getting poisoned from the sword. He needs an antidote that only, well, Asta has, but yeah. This is where, well, he's trying to get up, but this is where Asta appears saying, serpent, anti-serpent binding. This is where he is right now bind, and of course his magic also got rid of for 48 hours. This is where, well, the girl is trying to get back up. This is where she sent a very powerful fire attack at Asta. This is where Asta says, serpent summon, ice frozen serpent. This is where a giant serpent, an ice one, blocks the fire attack and sends a very powerful frozen attack to freeze the girl. This is where Leech, who is right now winding his eyes, didn't expect this whole thing to just go downhill. Whoever this person is seems to be very dangerous, and he is needing to kind of do something. This is where, well, he decides to make his body explode with magical power. This is where all of them wind their eyes, even if they can't do anything. This is where Leech says, light style, light sword of God Ray. This is where he launches it at Asta. Asta, who is about to get hit by this, pulls out the anti-magic sword and cuts it. This is where Asta, who is right now trying to keep his eye on, well, Leech managed to get behind him, and Leech managed to send a very powerful, like, smash attack into Asta. Asta gets launched back, but this is where, well, Asta just smashes upon, but this is where Asta appears again. Asta says, you only dealt with a clown. Pathetic, you know that. This is where Asta's sword was about to hit Leech, and Leech managed to transform his body into light, getting away from Asta. Asta says, where are you going? This is where, well, Leech says, quite annoying you are. Light rays. This is where multiple light rays starting to attack, well, Asta. Asta's dodging. This is where so many of them was still coming towards him, and of course he couldn't dodge all of them. This is where, well, he get blasted, and of course this is where he managed to get to his members. He sees that all of them are gravely hurt, and he can't do anything, even if he's this mad. This is where, when he looks up, he sees the person without the hood. Yami says, well, there's his identity gone. Well, his identity is now revealed. Asta's face seems to be mostly like a serpent. His eyes are like a snake. His face, his skin seems to be palish white and have scales around. Asta says, "So, you might be an elf loved by Mana, but I am a serpent. I am a snake of this world. We serpent snakes are mostly more into this world. We were born first from you elves. We were loved by Mana, and I can regen forever with Mana out of this world." This is where, well, Leech widened his eyes. He has heard from a long time ago. He has when he was an what's it called, an elf and all that. Still, when he was still kind of an elf back then, they kind of talk about like the gods of how different creatures kind of existed. The dragons and serpents. Serpents were a very powerful type of beings that were able to control mana so potent and deadly for them. They seem to be one with, well, the mana and all that. And seeing Asta, he never thought he was ever going to find someone who was from the Serpent clan. Because there was those who was actually humans, somewhat human beings, that looked like humans, but they were serpents. That's where Asta seems to be one of them. Asta, who rushes at Leech with blinding speed, right now trying to swing his sword down. Leech blocks it with his own light sword. This is where Leech says, You're a serpent. You're from the Serpent clan, aren't you? This is where Asta says, and you're from the Elf clan. This is interesting. You being more weaker than I would ever be. Right now, his sword breaks through the light attack, and Leech almost gets cut. That's where Leech says, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. How? How are you people still alive? Oh, sorry. People? Sorry. All my ancestors are dead. But you see here, I managed to awaken my magic, even if it took a little bit longer. But I am back. The Serpent clan will come back. I am not really going after the humans to kill them all, just for the fact their insolence kind of tried to kill my kind. No, I am not here for that. Unlike you elves, that were right now trying to give revenge. I'll be there to stop you. For no reason then other than I fucking hate all of you. I hate your species because how the fact you people thought yourself were gods. When you're nothing but just elves, not gods. Asta. This is where Asta says, serpent. A light serpent style. This is where a giant white serpent appears, roaring at Leech. Leech widens his eyes and can't defeat that. That's one of the gods of, well, this world. The white serpents were very powerful. The black serpents were also powerful. They were like yin-yang to each other. One was yin, one was yang. This is where the white serpent sends a very powerful slash attack at them, but mostly with his tail. This is where this whole mountain just gets obliterated, like blasted through. This is where, well, Leech managed to get out of there and managed to grab his other friends. He's right now running down on like mana. He is down on mana. This is where he's saying, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I won't be able to defeat him. I need to get out of here. This is where he managed to like unbind the guy with the teleportation machine, and the teleportation says, I got this, sir. He managed to make a portal and teleport out of all of them. Like all of them out of there. This is where Asta says, damn it! He hissed in anger. Right now trying to track this bastard down. You see here, the serpents were a very powerful clan before the elves even came along. This is where Asta's angry. Very just anger out of his voice. This is where, well, he hissed just in anger. Like a snake will be doing. This is where the white serpent says, I'm sorry. This person, well, this white serpent is a little bit smaller than the actual white serpent god. This is where, well, Asta says, it's fine. Shino, you can go back. Tell your father that I am terribly sorry for the fact that I wasn't able to kill the elves. This is where Shino says, I understand. Well, good luck on your adventure. Well, master. This is where Asta says, yes. Yes. Asta feels extremely weak. He did get hit by multiple light attacks, but it seems his body seems to just block out the light attacks. This is where he looks underneath. and sees multiple wounds. This is where he coughed up blood. I should have been reckless with myself. This is where Asta falls down. This is where Yami rushes towards him, saying, Asta, get up! This is where Asta's kind of like groaning a little bit because he's still hurt, and the Mono's right now trying to heal his shit. This is where, well, Yami says, oh, he's perfectly fine. Finro, hurry up and use your goddamn portal magic to teleport us out of here. This is where Finro says, huh? What the hell you want me to do? Also, who the hell is that? Well, shut the fuck up and teleport us out of here. This is where Finro says, fine. This is where, well, Kurumi and even Junko looks to each other and says, Asta? This is where, well, they can kind of see similar features of Asta, but with that snake kind of face, it seems to be different. This is where, well, Finro managed to make a portal magic and of course to get out, and of course this is where, well, Asta's being healed by Mimosa. Mimosa was there with, well, Clars and the others. This is where, well, they're all in a room with the other black boys. And of course, where, well, Rebecca is there to just thank Junko and even, well, Kurumi. And of course, where Yami, who's right now glaring at the other leaders, saying, say shit and I'll murder you in a fucking instant. This is where Jack the Ripper says, oh, I won't even say a thing. This kid seems to be very strong, able to take on magic, well, 3 of the midnight without even a care. And he seems to be sadistic. Seems to have very powerful mana, he said. Yeah, this is where Noel or whatever his goddamn name, Nosy or whatever, says, I won't even care about you. Try to kill me. This is where Yami appears with his half-broken sword right towards his neck, saying, shut up. And so where, well, the Blue Rose, what's it called, Cat? I forgot her name. She kind of just, she doesn't care. Right now, this is where, well, they are kind of grateful they kind of survived because they realized they were kind of outpaced with the others. Well, the 3 mid of the eye, like, people. But yeah, this is where, well, Asta, who is right now recovering, this is where he slowly opens his eyes. One of his green slit eyes is where Asta says, what the hell happened? Well, he just says, what the hell happened? Because Asta didn't actually expect him, well, to get hurt from that light elf fuck. This is where Asta saying, it's a stupid. Asta gets up, and this is where Yuno looks at Asta with this anger expression, and Asta says, what the fuck you looking at me, you bastard? This is where Asta, he seems to not care much about seeing Yuno or Junko or even Kurumi's face. And this is where Asta, he kind of just, like, bowed down straight towards Yami and says, are you all okay, sir? Yami says, I should be the one telling you that, kid. Since you're strong enough. I know you're strong and can solo a lot of things. But still, fighting against the 3 Midnight and even the leader itself. Well, probably not the leader because he did say that there were another one. But, other than that, you managed to hold yourself better than I was against that light freak. Well, that was just a shame of how you managed to do it. Pretty good for your first time in battle. Well, somewhat. But still, pretty good. As for us and nodding. Can I please leave now? Yes, you can go back to your cave or whatever. For fuck's sake, it's kind of creepy as fuck how you just sit in a cave half the time. So Asta says, sure. Asta's wound, who's right now on the side of him, like stomach, near his kind of kidney and all. It's not in his kidney, it's kind of near his kidney, the wounds and all. Asta just kind of holds on it because he is kind of still bleeding. Asta doesn't care. Asta is trying to make teleporting magic. He kind of like summoned out his grimoire. And this is where he kind of looked at the page and all that. Before he's able to kind of cast this spell, this is where Yuno grabs, like he put his hand right in front of that book. And says, Asta, we need to speak. Asta, who kind of looks up towards Yuno. And says, no we don't. Now, leave my book alone. I'm trying to cast a spell for me to make a portal and teleport out of here. This is where Yuno says, no, we do gotta talk. Why did Nosh, Nosh told me that you were dead, that you killed yourself. Well, he lied. I told him to lie. I told him that if ever Yuno, Junko, or even Kurumi did ever appear, asking where I was, to say I was dead. This is where, well, Yuno says, why? Because If you ever asked and what I was doing, you would probably hate the fact that I even had a grimoire in the first place, and would have become a magic knight. But I didn't want to become a magic knight since I didn't want to protect any nobles. Now, move out of my fucking book or I'm going to stab you. That's where Yuno says no. His wind magic pressure just decides to increase. It's where Asta's own pressure of magical power increases. The fact that this is where, a presence appears. Behind Asta appears a giant white serpent with this red kind of like thing on top of his head and some blue eyes slit. This is where, being on this kind of reddish tree and it's kind of hissing at, Yuno's creature. Yuno's creature seems to be a giant silver whitish eagle. Right now kind of, screeching at, this serpent. This is where Asta and Yuno are kind of just glaring at each other. That's where Asta seems to be a little bit bigger than Yuno. Seems to be 5'8". That's where Yuno's kind of glaring at Asta, right now being 5'7". This is where Karumi and Junko say, and even, Umi wasn't somewhat there. They said, Asta, calm down. That's where, Asta, who seems to just calm down and says, what do you want anyway? This is where, Yuno says, I want to know why. Why did you lie to us? Why you lie to what? Why did you lie that you didn't have grimoire or magic? Clearly, the pressure that you sent towards me was magical. So what if I had magic? I don't give a shit about becoming the magic knight or becoming the wizard king. Now move out of my way. This is where, he's getting more angrier towards Yuno. This is where Yuno says, move? No, I'm not moving. Asta, who kind of gets angry. This is where Asta right now sends a punch straight towards Yuno's face. But this is where Yuno's magic appears. But this is where Asta's fist turns into flames, breaks through the wind kind of like barrier, and grabs Yuno from the collar and says, listen up, you fuck. I don't give a shit about the fucking wizard dream. That was a dream that died a long time ago. A dream that was stupid for me to even believe. Now, I said move. This is where he pushes Yuno out of the way. This is where Asta makes finally the portal. And this is where he gets in. This is where Yuno tries to attack Asta from behind to kind of like try to pull him back. But this is where a green serpent tries to bite at Yuno. Yuno manages to dodge while sending that wind magic to kind of grab Asta. The serpent right now appears back into Asta's back. But yeah, this is where it's mostly on top of the hood. But in like the hood pocket or whatever you like to call it. This is where, Asta gets back into his cave and starts healing. He knows that this cave is full of his own mana. He made this cave enchanted. It's mostly a cave that he made himself in this kind of place into the forest. This is where, this place is kind of made with his own forest. And the forest does grow a little bit more fishes than normal. It does grow a lot more because thanks to his mana being like nature mana mostly, he can actually grow a lot of things. This is where, he starts healing in this cave. It's very like healthy for him. This is where the wound starts healing up extremely fast. This is where Asta's like, you fucking idiot. This is where we go into somewhat of a time skip of Asta being in this kind of, cave and getting a message from Yami to kind of come along on a mission just so he can enjoy with friends or someone become friends with anyone. Which Yami knows that some of them are not much friends. Like, what's it called? The guy who loves his sister a lot is barely friends with anyone. The guy who's kind of quiet a lot is kind of trying to be friends with people, but he's antisocial. Gray is also antisocial. And right now, Yami can add the antisocial group another person, and that is, Asta. Asta, who sees that it's not that important, it's a mission. But this is where, Yami also puts on the very end, P.S. This is not a request to kind of like help any nobles or anything. It's a mission to kind of collect something from a very powerful, place. Well, the Midnight Eye kind of trying to find this place. Okay? So, there's a good chance the Midnight Eye might be here. Asta understands this is where he makes a portal to, meet up in the kind of Black Bulls. hideout. This is where Asta appears, and this is where, well, they're all going crazy for the beach place and all that. Asta appears, kind of bowing down towards, well, Yami and says, I'm here. When will we leave? This is where all of them froze. Right now, Luck and everyone else has never seen Asta. And of course, this is where Asta, who just appeared, and right now bowing down to Yami, like if he sees Yami to be some great holy person. And this is where, well, they have never saw this person, except for Noel and others. This is where Ghost or whatever his goddamn name is. And of course, Junko and Kurumi, who right now seeing this. This is where, Yami says, haha, kid, you don't need to be always so formal. Besides, this is going to be kind of going somewhat to a place that's near our beach. Have you ever went to the beach? Asta, who stays silent and says, no. This is where, well, Yami says, then this is your first time, so just relax, kid, and stop being so formal half the damn time. I mean it, because I hate being informal. Asta nods and says, okay. This is where Asta sits quietly far away from half of them. This is where Asta kind of sits next to, well, Gray. And Gray, who is right now just breathing smoke out of her mouth, is going, Rrr. This is where Asta says, agree. This is where Gray was actually confused how Asta can even understand her. This is where what Gray said was saying, this is quite annoying half the time, but at least it's fun, I guess. This is where Asta agrees with it, because it's quite annoying to see a bunch of people here kind of just laughing, goofing off. This is where, well, the quiet guy was going, so your name is Asta? Wanna be friends? This is where Asta says, well, the same whisper and says, sure. I'd rather be friends with someone else who's actually also quiet. This is where, well, Yami sees that they're actually being friends, and which is quite shocking to him, because he really thought Asta would not talk that much, but whispering, fuck's sakes, it seems they're working out. This is where Yami laughs like, yeah. This is where, well, Luck and even Magna didn't expect a new member to be here. This is where Magna was about to fight Asta until Yami grabs him by the head and said, if you're thinking to fight him, I suggest you kind of go build your graveyard, your gravesite yard, because he's going to murder you in an instant if you dare even challenge him. He's quite strong, and that's why he decided to pick to be in the Black Bulls. He's quite ferocious in battle. He was able to kind of fight against, well, some of the Midnight Eye members. Well, kind of 3 of them that was stronger than the leader itself. And was able to kind of almost kill them all. His mission was to capture them, but he thinks to just mostly fucking them over was a good idea. By kind of erasing their magic. So I wouldn't suggest Magna to kind of fight against him. That's why Luck rushes towards Asta, because after hearing that he was able to fight some of the what's called Midnight Eye, he wanted to fight against Asta. This is where he rushes with lightning in his hand and all, and this is where Asta, he doesn't move. This is where something rushes towards Luck in high speed that Luck couldn't even react fast enough neither. Something bite into his neck, and this is where Luck kind of falls down, right now not being able to move. This is where something that was around Asta was looking like a bluish lightning serpent. This is where he's hissing at Luck. Luck, who didn't even see that attack. This is where the serpent goes back into Asta's cloak. This is where mostly HUD and all that. This is where, well, Luck is trying to get up and say, I can't move. Magna, help me! This is where Yami says, like I said, you idiots. He's very powerful. And I should suggest one thing. Multiple snakes are around his body, so pissing him off would be the least problem you would like to do. You'll mostly piss off the other snakes that's in his body, or mostly in his jacket. But it's better if you don't do anything like that stupid. So yeah, so well, I'm going to end it off here for part 1 of What If Asta Has Serpent Magic. But yeah, other than that, bye bye, potato, and yeah, good night, potato.